Hi, I'm Diana Graber. I'm the founder of Cyber Civics, and I'm excited to share with you today our second level of our 3-level program on digital literacy for middle school. This is our level on information literacy. The reason we added this level to the program 10 years ago is because after teaching a full year of digital citizenship lessons, we realized that while we prepared kids with these great skills to be safe and responsible online, it's certainly not enough. They need to have skills to use the internet as a research source. So that's why we added this level of information literacy, which basically teaches them how to find, retrieve, analyze, and use online information. If you do a little research, you'll find that kids really need these skills. While they seem super savvy online, few are really provided with these important skills to help them use it for research and study. So this is a really important and fun level to teach. Let me show you how it works. So when a school or organization subscribes to Cyber Civics, the person who subscribes at that organization or school gets a proprietary link, and that allows any teacher to open their own private account, and that gives them access to all of the resources they need to teach this level. So I'm going to show that to you right now. Open it up here, and this is it. This is all your resources for level 2. It's set up just like level 1 if you've taught level 1 already, but I'm still going to walk you through this to show you what's unique about this level. Right now you're watching the required viewing. That's number 1. Number 2 is our required reading. This is pretty important. So I always encourage teachers to download it or to at least read it online. You can always do that by going down to the bottom right-hand corner and hitting the crossbars there, and it will open up the document full screen on your computer so you can read it. This guide basically tells you what's coming in this level, how to use the online portal, what the page looks like, where all your lesson resources are and how to download them, and any other pertinent information you need to get through the school year. So pretty easy to do. Hit the crosshairs, that takes you back to this view. You can always hit downloads and it will download this document as a PDF that you can print and actually have it in your hands to hold on to during the year. Now, what you can do here is go back to your main menu. The next thing that you'll see here under the introductory materials is the Teaching at Home guide. This is for our families who use it as a homeschool program. We have a lot of them, and we really appreciate that they teach Cyber Civics at home. This guide actually kind of tells you how to adapt each lesson to a homeschool setting. Pretty easy to figure out how to do this yourself, but we like to give you a little help here, just to give you some ideas if you don't have a whole classroom of kids to teach this with. All right, the next thing you'll find is our Send Home Explainer for parents and guardians. Parents and guardians always like to know that you're teaching their children how to be safe online. And so this little explainer will tell them what comes in level 2, what information literacy is, and what the lessons are that the students will be learning. The next thing that you find in here is our syllabus. I'm actually going to take a moment here to walk you through this. This shows you what's in level 2. I'm going to open it full screen here on my screen. So as I mentioned, level 2 is our year on how to find, retrieve, analyze, and use online information. All of the lessons are about 50 minutes long, 50. They all have hands-on activities and collaborative discussions, and they're lots of fun to teach, easy to teach. We start with an optional prep lesson. For this level, it does help to start using computers because they're actually going to be doing a little research. So we have a lesson that helps you set up some guidelines on how to do that safe and responsibly, because it's a big responsibility for kids to be using digital devices. So you want to have agreements in place with them before you start using them in the classroom. And then we have a really important unit on learning balance. We want students to be really thoughtful about their time. How do they spend it, online and off? And we have a couple lessons that address that with some really great student videos in them and some activities that they will enjoy. Online safety is very important. Before they start using the online world for research, they should be safe and responsible about what they share and what they download and what they tell people online. So we have 2 lessons that are pretty packed on that topic. Then we dive right into searching the web. Kids don't really know how to do this, I've learned, and this is more important than ever with these new tools like ChatGPT coming out. Makes web search even more important, because When you do web search, you're getting links to actual sites online that you need to look at to make sure they're reputable and truthful. And this will teach them all those steps. So we have the elements of web search, how to search work, how to write a search query, how to read a search results page, which a lot of people don't know how to do. It's tough because there's ads on there and things that are sponsored. And then why can't you just cut and paste? What is plagiarism? So those are very important lessons. And that moves us into your personal information, because as you know, whenever we use the online world, our personal information is being collected and curated, and it's being, things and information are being fed back to us based on what the internet thinks we like or want. So students really need to understand how that happens. So we have a few lessons on that. We look at privacy policies, we look at terms of use, important terminology in both of those lessons. One of my favorites now to teach is algorithms. Algorithms are awesome, or are they? So how does an algorithm work? What do they do? How do they decide what we get back? That's really eye-opening for a lot of students. We give them strategies to protect their online data. What makes a password great? Passwords are still very important. They're our first line of defense to protect our personal information. And then we turn it around. We play a little game where they think about what they would collect were they to create some sort of online service or website. Unit 5 is copyright, public domain, and fair use. So funny because that sounds boring, right? Whenever we do student assessments at the end of 3 years, they always point to this as their favorite unit. And I think it's because there's a lot of creativity in it. They really are interested in what's happening with copyright law. And we have a lot of current events that are pertinent to kids embedded in this unit. So we talk about what copyright is. Fortnite is one of our current events that we talk about. League of Legends is another one. Why copyright matters. What is Creative Commons? They should know about that because that's where they can share their own work and the works of others. Public domain and fair use. And what does remix mean? Living in a remix world. And then finally, you know, whenever you do research, one of the first things that pops up is still Wikipedia. So we want students to understand how Wikipedia works and how they can use it as a great research source or a jumping off point for other research. So that's how we end this year. And then we do a really fun collaborative final that they seem to enjoy. So that's level 2 in a nutshell. I'm going to then take you to, real quickly, there's some research that supports teaching information literacy. We have student pre and post assessments in every level that I'm going to show you real quick. Some teachers like to do this to make sure that their kids are learning so they can give it to them at the beginning of the year and again at the end of the year. This is a fillable form, so you can upload it to, if you use some sort of online place for your kids to do their work that way, you can do it and they can just, you know, type in whatever their answers are. All right, so I'm going to show you now how the lessons are set up. Here's the optional prep lesson that I talked about. The safe and responsible use of technology is our very first one. And then every unit, every level, every unit has between 2 to 3 lessons in it, sometimes more than that. And every lesson is about, 50 minutes, 50 minutes long. I'm going to actually jump forward here and show you one of our newer lessons that's been updated for this year. And it's in unit 2, which is online safety. So every unit starts with a teacher guide. This is it right here. And I promise you, they are never more than 2 pages long. They're super easy to read. You can download it and read it by hitting this, or you can just hit this thing in the bottom right-hand corner and read the teacher guide online. Again, very short. It will just kind of give you a little background on the topic you're about to teach. Any little pertinent thing that you may need to know. If there's any prep, which there really isn't, but we have a lot of resources for you on our CyberWise website. Here's a link to it that can kind of give you a little more background information on this topic. And then finally, we have a ton of educator resources at the end that you're welcome to help yourself to. All right, then comes the actual lessons. I'm going to show you something here though, before we go to the menu here. Whenever you're on a lesson, let's say you're here at the teacher guide and you want to progress to the next thing in the menu, you can hit next. It does the same thing. It takes you to the next item. And in this case, it's the home activity guide. This is really one of my favorite parts of the curriculum. For every unit you teach, there's a send home letter. You can email it, you can print it, whatever, send it to the parents and guardians, but it has activities that they can do together at home that align with every single lesson you teach. And this is so important because so much digital activity happens at home. We need our parents to be on board with what we're teaching them. So we have suggested activities, and this is new this year. So we added 60, that's 60 new videos to the curriculum. We found that students just really love the short videos, and so we added a bunch of them. So it really takes a lot of pressure off teachers to even know a lot about all these topics. But we thought, wouldn't it be great if parents and kids could watch these together at home at night and talk about what they learned in the classroom? So we've given the parents links to every video that you show during the school day. If you don't use technology in the classroom, this is great because the parent and child can watch it together and it will reinforce what you taught them in the classroom that day. All right, so the next thing you'll see here is the lesson. So I'm going to start with this lesson here, online safety. It's been updated for this year with some important new safety information. So I'm going to share it with you right now. Again, you can download the PDF by hitting that, or you can just hit the little crosshairs at the bottom right-hand corner and read the lesson online. So there you have it. This is basically your script to deliver the lesson. It's got a little intro paragraph. Every lesson is aligned with the Common Core ELA standards, the ISTE Tech standards for students, and every lesson is also a social emotional lesson. So we've aligned them with the CASEL SEL core competencies. That's this last thing that you see here. Those are the social emotional skills. So you can, again, download this, hold it in your hand, deliver the lesson in person, or use our slides. So I'm going to take you back here. So this is the main page for the lessons. You can go to Google Slides here, which I'm going to show you right now. All right, so here's the slides for this lesson. Play the slideshow. And this will basically walk the kids through everything. Now, the way I do it is I actually download the PDF and have it in my hand and use that as a guide as I run the kids through the slides. So the first one is just a review of the previous lesson. They did a screen-free vacation. That was their homework. So we talk about that in the classroom. That's always very interesting. The next thing is a question. And this is pretty typical of most of our lessons. They'll start with a discussion question to engage your kids. And this is really important because it helps you assess where they are, how much they know, what they're dealing with. There's always something they're dealing with in the digital world. So it will come up during the discussion usually. And that leads into the lesson. It is important to be able to identify online interactions that may be unsafe or even dangerous. To help you do this, you will be learning some rules of the road. And here's one of our little videos. I'll play at least a little bit of it for you.
When you're online, how often do you think about your safety? Usually, when we open our phones or computers to pass the time, to watch videos or message our friends, we are too distracted by the fun we're having to stop and think about the potential risks that come with being online. But it's important to keep a few rules in the back of your mind as you surf the web. These will protect you and your personal information. When you interact with others online, remember, the internet makes it easy for people or entities to pretend they're something they're not. Anyone can be entirely anonymous. Anyone can lie about their age, identity, or their intentions. So remember, it's a bad idea to share personal information online. This includes things like your full name, your home address, telephone number, birth date, social security number, school, parent information, passwords, and especially embarrassing or intimate photos. Sharing this information can put you at risk for nasty consequences like identity theft, account hacks, or even stalking and harassment from strangers. Keep an eye out for emails that look unfamiliar and strange, or text messages from mysterious numbers. You know that email you got from an internet company? Make sure that email actually came from the company you think sent it, and not someone trying to trick you. It's wise never to respond to text messages or emails from someone you don't know or have never met. And never click a link or open attachments from unknown emails or phone numbers. Be suspicious of incredible online bargains or unexpected prizes. If something seems too good to be true, it most likely is. Think twice about accepting every single person who wants to add or follow you. Sometimes cyber criminals will attempt to establish a relationship with you by trying to become a friend or a follower. If a stranger asks to meet you, tell a parent or a trusted adult immediately. Practice skepticism. This means always thinking twice about people and their intentions. Someone who might seem super nice and helpful could actually be trying to trick you. And lastly, pay attention to your feelings. If something online makes you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, listen to your gut and tell a trusted adult.
Playing the whole thing because those are such important tips really for all of us to keep in mind. So this lesson is really essential again before they start using the internet as a research source. So to review, never share personal information online. Keep an eye out for emails that look unfamiliar and strange or text messages from mysterious numbers. Don't respond to text messages or emails unless you know who they're from. Never click on the links or open attachments from unknown emails or phone numbers. Be suspicious of incredible online bargains or prizes. Think twice about accepting every single person who wants to add or follow you. Never arrange a face-to-face meeting. Practice skepticism. Pay attention to your feelings. So then we have another little video. I promise I'll only play a few seconds of this one.
Even if you follow basic guidelines to keep yourself safe online, like not sharing personal information or arranging a face-to-face meeting with a stranger, it can sometimes still be challenging to make good decisions. So when faced with a tricky situation, there's a simple strategy you can use to determine if the situation is a potential threat. If something online seems odd to you, ask yourself these 3 questions. Who is contacting me? Why are they contacting me? What do they want?
It runs them through those 3 questions, and then you can review after the video. And again, if you notice, when we play a video, we always review afterwards. That's because some schools don't want to play videos in the classroom. That's fine. But we give you all of this information in the teacher guide. So if you don't use technology, you can still deliver the same information to your students. So here are the 3 questions. Who is contacting you? Why are they contacting you? What do they want? If you can't come up with a reasonable answer for each question above, beware. And then we give them a sample story. This is the sample story that's in the video, but we want to do it in the classroom so you can discuss this with the students together. They can come up with their ideas and you can talk about why that's a good or bad idea and how they would deal with a similar situation. All right, so every Cyber Civics lesson has an activity. They're discussions, sometimes they're games, sometimes they're art projects. For this particular lesson, we have a whole bunch of stories for you to read to the students. Listen to the stories your teacher is about to read and use the 3 W's to figure out what to do. So this works great when the teacher reads them aloud and students together say, well, here's who's contacting me. Well, I don't know who that person is. And they can discuss their answers together because it really helps for them to hear what their peers think and come to a mutual conclusion. But there's a bunch of ways to do this lesson. So let me just escape here. So this is the student packet right here. Again, this is something you can print and have the student work on in the classroom, or you can upload it to some online place where they can fill it in online. But here are the stories. So if you don't have time to read these aloud to the students in the classroom, this can become homework where they can read the little story and they can decide who is contacting me, why are they contacting me, what do they want, is it safe to proceed, why or why not. So again, a couple of different ways to do this lesson. All right, so back to our portal here. I just took you through online safety, that's unit 2. There's our searching the web unit, which is so important. Personal information unit has about 5 or 6 lessons in there. Copyright, public domain, fair use unit. And then finally, how to use Wikipedia results. And then finally, our collaborative final, which is a really fun way to end the year. So there you have it. That's how to use the portal. Those are the lessons you'll find in level 2. As you know, if you're a subscriber to this program, we always give teachers free online tutorials like the one I'm giving right here if you get stuck. Most of us who work here have taught cyber civics ourselves in the classroom, so we will be able to probably address most of your questions. So feel free to contact us anytime. It's support@cybercivics.com, or visit the website if you have more questions. That's www.cybercivics.com. And don't forget, we have the site for parents too. That's cyberwise.org. So thank you so much for taking time to listen to this today and for teaching your kids how to be ethical, safe, and productive digital citizens. Thank you.